recording. Now let's come down. So let's say header, and inside the header we're going to create nav items, nav, and inside the nav we're going to create ul items, ul. How many of them? We just want 3 per, okay, multiply by 3 times. Press on the tab key. The first one, let's say home. The next one we say that about. The next one we say contact. Even before that, somebody was asking the last time that how can we create a website thing? If I do that thing here, I hope it will not be complex for you guys. I want to keep things as simple as much as possible. So let us start with that. Okay, let's start with that. So let's say header, header. Oh, come on, why caps? header. Okay, header. All right. Now, inside this header, we want to have 2 divs, like we learned in our class. We want to have 2 divs, okay? 2 divs, or even possible 3 divs, okay? The first div should contain this element, or it can be a picture and what, a p element. And even that one, we are even going to give it a style of what, flex, to split them to become inline. And then the next div will come to this one, and then the next div was what. So let's say we're going to do that. So let's create 3 divs, okay? The first div for this one, the second div for this one, and the third div, okay? All right, so let's follow. So let's say div, div, press on tab. Let's jump out of it. Let's create another div, div, tab. Another div again, div, press on tab, okay? Control plus S. Now the first div, first let's give it a class, okay? Let's give that one a class of what? Logo. Okay, logo. You see class of what? Logo, logo. Control plus S to save that. Nothing has happened in our website, okay? Nothing is happening because we haven't yet put any text here. Then inside that one, what are we going to have? We are going to have an image, img, an image, and let's just pick any of the images here, okay? So we can just pick let's say no, yes, or let me see, a lady with a digital marketing. Okay, let's choose the lady in brown. Okay, let's use the lady in brown for the logo. If not, we have to download the 3D logo for ourselves right now. I have to do it right now. Okay, I don't want to ask to download stuff. Let's use this lady in logo. Okay, the lady. Else we have to go too long way. Let's close this. Okay, lady in brown. So where it says image source, you say images, because our pictures are inside the folder called images, and I want to choose this particular one called lady in brown. Or is it Jamel? Yes, lady in brown. Control plus S. Come to the website. It has become very big. We will size it. Okay, we will size it so that it becomes small. And again, we are going to even here we can even put over here a width. Let's say a width, width is equal to, let's say, 30 pixels. Okay, just to make it smaller and keep it there for us. All right. Then in that same div, we are not done. We are not out of that div. In that same div, inside that same first div, we are going to put inside a p element. And that p element, what are we going to write? It's a digital marketing or digital marketers. Let's just write digital marketing. Digital marketing. All right, digital marketing. Okay, we are done with the first part. That one will be for these small items here. Okay, and then the one in the middle, we are actually wanted to even put some home and that is, but let's put a search bar there, okay, a search item there, a search item, a search item. So the next div, we're going to just open some bracket, okay, some space inside. What do we put? We say an input, input, and the type should be what? Text, okay. So it does not appear. We'll give them the command to all. Let's move themselves on one line. Okay, don't worry, just one command. Then after the input, we should have a button. Always important. Teaching you guys how to make a button was part of mine. Okay, so let's say search, SEARCH. Okay, keep that. The button has appeared just next to the. It's okay. And inside the next div, so this is our first div. This one, let's call it. Let's give it a special class name. Okay, a class name of search, SEARCH. Okay, let's keep that. Then our last div item, this is it, the last div. Let's give some space. Okay, let's not give space BR. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So this is our first div. When you click on the first one, to show you the second following, the closing. When you click on the opening, it will automatically show you the closing part of it. Okay. And then the last one, what are we going to put there? Let's put that one a nav item. Okay. Let's click something like register. Oh, register and then book. Register and then book. Okay. Register book. So let's put inside the UL items. And inside the UL items, we want to have an LI. So the first LI item we say register. Okay. And then let's just duplicate that. Shift and Alt. Press the down arrow key. Clean this one and let's call it book. BOOK. So okay, Control plus S to save that. Now all the things are waiting for us to give them nice styling. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is what? To command all of these things to be in one line. Okay. Or we can give this thing. We can since all of this are being held by. Since all of this, which is actually what you are seeing on our page on our screen here, they are being held by this class here called header. Okay. So we say header. Let's come. CSS. Did you link our CSS? We didn't link it yet. Let's say link and say style.css inside the where it says the href. Okay, we are done. Now we say header, HEADER. Curly brace open, curly brace close. Let's give a background. Let's give any background of our choice. We'll come and change it again. Okay, background of everyday brown. Let's change this to a background of this color is okay. This is a background. It has applied, right? Now let's give it let's not give height yet. Let's command this things to be in one line. What do we do? So we say header display of flex, so that it will take this item as one. This one to also be one. This one to also be what? A group of items. To stretch this, put it at one side, stretch this, group it at one side, stretch this, and also group it at one side. That's what it's going to do. Okay. To treat this div as an item on its own. It also treat this div as an item on its own. It also treat this div as an item on its own. Okay. So let's come again. Header. Let's give the display. Display of what? Flex. What happens? Check and see. Have you seen the digital marketing and this item, which is what you are seeing here? Sorry, this one. And then this search and then the its input. Actually, this one. And then this particular register and book. No, that one is actually this particular div here. Okay, but this div we should give them a special class name. Okay. Let's call it nav item, nav dash item. Okay, let's go and check. Nothing has changed. Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to give it another command another command of, let's say, justify content space between. We're supposed to say justify content center to bring all of them to the center, but space between will make sure that the equal spaces between all of them. And now let's come again. How do we let them come to the right, to the center very well? We say align items, align items, align dash items. We say center, center. And I see that they have all moved down to the center variable. But this one to also give a display of flex to switch them to what? Be in one line. So again, you go and then take that particular class, keeping that image and its p item. See it. And they're having a class of what? Logo. So that's very good. If you say div, it will make all of this div, all of this div to have a flex. Everything that you are now be typing, continue, will now be having a class of flex, and it's not the best. That's why we use classes to specify which particular div you are referring to. So let's say copy. Let's come. This particular div called logo. Just paste it. You say display flex. Where is it? Flex. So they are now in one line. Very good. And this one too. The same way that we do to them. So they also are switching one line. This particular div keeping those nav items. We say copy it. Gently come. Just say dot. Then paste that particular thing there. You say display flex. That one, you say the nav items, then you point to the UL, okay? So nav item, and then you point to the UL. Why? Because those things are inside, those two things that you want to switch into the inline, they are inside the UL, okay? So we say display what? Flex. What happened? Go and check and see. They're also in one line. So you say that you are using that technique to arrange things in one line. Now, let's give this thing a specific height, okay? This header itself, okay? The header, which is the boss, keeping everything. Let's give it a special height, height. What about, let's give it a height of 90 pixels. Is it too big? It's okay. Looking at our image, the height is not bad at all. Then, these particular things, we want to push them inside. So what do? We will give this particular thing here, this one, the nav, a padding, okay, which is the innermost spacing, a padding of left and a right, so that to push the items inside. This one to also push inside. So let's go. So the header, which is keeping them, a header which is keeping all of those things that we are seeing, we want to give that particular header alone. The header. We want to give the header HEA. Okay, we don't even have to. You already have a header at the top there. Add the code to that one. It's a padding left. That's padding at the left side. Just say, I want to give it like, let's say 35 pixels. That means push from the left side by 35 pixels. I want to push it even inner more. What will I say? I will say 50 pixels, and let's see. Let's come inside. It's okay. Looking at the image here, it has really pushed inside. So why not add more of the padding? So we say the padding should be double that movement, and let's say 90 pixels, and let's see. That's really moved in. The same way we do for this one too. Down to, we say that same header, it's right side. So say padding right. Padding dash right. 90 pixels. Control plus X. Let's also push them inside. Okay, by 90 pixels. Now, are we done? No. We can now remove the background and make things to become what? Greenish in color. So we can remove the background color from there. We can even change it to what? A gray looking color. We can just make it white, no problem. White is fine. Or remove it completely, because by default it is always white color. Okay. So let's go to our header. Can make this a white color. Alright. And then when you make it a white color, oh, it hasn't changed. Just take the dragger, move it to the white area. Control plus S. That's become white. But then change those text color. Just say color. Color of what? Green. Green. And they're all now green color, those text. You can even deepen that particular green appearance. Okay. Now, this and this has to look nice, okay? Even together with this. So what do? We say that this image want it to be rounded, okay? This image want it to be rounded, We also want to push this thing forward. Okay, so remember that we gave that particular logo color, that logo class, a display of flex. So we can now even add gap. Let's say 20 pixels, and let's see, save and go and see. There is a gap, and now we want to point towards the logo alone. We want to point towards only the image. So we say logo image. We say dot logo img. Dot logo img. We say border radius. Just say 50%. 50%. That should make the image rounded. But then I added a wave property. If you can remember, the wave property that has made it to shrink. So because of that, we'll go to the HTML, and where there is the image, remove the width from it. Remove the width. Save that. Remove the width. And then the image will become very big, of course. We'll command it to come down. See, it is rounded, but we're too big. So what do we do? The same image place, give it a width of, let's say, 50 pixels. It's fine. That also make the height also change correspondingly. We can also give it a border, 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 a border of, choose a color, green. It should be a solid border, and then it should be what? 2 pixels in size. Oh, come on, I press Ctrl+A. That is it here. That's been applied. You can specify the reason why it has become like this is because the image is what, not that specially, that. But you can also add a height to shrink it down some more. All right, but let's leave that. Okay, we'll come and work on that if they need be. And this, you can give this align items. You can see that this thing is not properly placed to the center. Align items center. Does not come to the center. And now let's now point towards this item, this p item inside that class called logo. So we say dot logo p. Oh, come on, we want to change the font. In fact, even want to even change the font for the entire work. And remember, we are using all the universal selector. The font dash family. Font family of what? We want to use Verdana. Next time we will let's use sans serif. Sans serif is fine. Next time we use Google font. Okay. Sans serif is very, very nice. And then we can make the text to grow in size. So font weight, font dash size, to increase the size to, let's say, 35 pixel. That's too much. Go down and say 25 pixels. All right, that's even more. 20 pixels. Okay. I can even say font width, font dash width. Make it even 700 of font width. Can even say bold to make it very bold for you. But 700 is another type of font weight. Okay. The search. Let's come there. Make the search, and this one you can even change the background. That particular nav, the nav item, the header. Can change the color to anything of your choice to reflect. But we don't want that. Ctrl+Z. Save. All right. Now, this particular thing here, let's remove the border from it. Let's make it nice. Let's make it appear very beautiful. Okay. Now, this search item, let's come there fast. We work on it and we'll go. Let's go down. Search. Let's call the search. Dot search. 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 And then we are pointing towards the input item. Input. Okay. We can see that there is some black color around it. We don't want. So we say border. None. To save. Border none. Because it is in selection mode, that's why it came here. Then we want the background color. Okay. Give it gray. So that it will be gray. Yeah. And it's even too much of deep gray. take the selector and go down small. All right, that's it. Okay, let it grow in size. Give it a height of, let's say, 115 pixels, and see what happens. It's small. That input size is small. What about 30 pixels? That's grown. And then increase the width as well. The width by, let's say, 150 pixels. Very short. You need to double that. Let's say 350 pixels. It's not bad at all. But to me, I think it's too long. So you can make it like 250 or 270 pixels. Okay. That's okay now. Then a search. That's also be very beautiful. That's also become very beautiful. So let's start a search. So let's jump out of that. We say dot search dot search. We are pointing towards what? Dot search. We are pointing to what? Button. button. And then we are saying that background. So that this is a background color. Let's remove that. Okay. Or even could add this border. Make it none, so that you don't have any border line. So border. Say none. Want to remove the border from it. There is no border around, no line around it. What about the background color? Background color. Not spelled well. Background color. Okay. Background color of want it, that green color that we gave to those text. Want it again. Want that same green color. Copy. Just copy. Control plus C. Come and then paste them inside. That's okay. All right. And because we can almost see the writing, what will you do? You say color. Just say white to be okay. It's okay. Now, how about it becoming big? Yes. You don't have to use height and width here. And we are now learning how to start a button. Just give padding top. Just say padding. Okay, padding. So padding. padding. Now, padding, when you just specify padding, two values inside, you can use two values to specify top, bottom, left, right. Because the padding of top and bottom, we can say 7 pixels. Well, that's something like this: 7 pixels, 15 pixels. We are writing two values inside for a property. It means the first one is for top and bottom, okay. The next one is for left and right. Control plus S, and that will work. You see? All right. And then this one is the next styling. Let's move on. So we have nav item, keeping those registered in the book. Okay, see it here. You can see that the website, there is this rounded way of this. Let's also do that. Okay. So where it says input, say border radius of, just give it 10 pixels, which is normally the standard. Oh, come on, where's our website? It is not too curved. Why not add a little bit of border radius? Make it 15. Good. It's okay. It has been curved. And even the button can also decide to curve it as well. Give it a border radius of, because it is what? A button, it is smaller. Just make that one 10. It's okay. If it's not well curved, you can what? Return back to the 15. Now make it curved very well. So we have our image, the name of the company, digital marketing, followed by what? Everything. And there is this equal spacing between them. And this has to also get some nice styling. Okay. So we say we'll come and call the nav item. Copy the class name if you don't want to spell it mistakenly. Dot nav item. Then we are pointing, even where it says nav item UL, that we wrote somewhere. Whenever you click on your CSS and you can't find that class, just press Ctrl plus F to bring that search. Just say nav dash item. Okay. Yeah, it will highlight wherever it is. Look at it here. So you not scroll and be tired. You see them. You see these things. They are too close, so you have to give some gap. Then when you apply the flex property, you can easily add gap of what? 20 pixels, right? Sure it will do. That's also spacing out. Then we want to remove this, and this list. So you see that list style type, list style, just say none to remove those dot from it. And then when you say font width, font dash width, you can make it like 500 to make them, deepen text. 600 might do. This one is okay, at least it's deepened. But we'll come and remove this one and put anchor text, okay. The A type of text, okay, so that they become nicely. And now we can leave this one today, okay. This one, I think we should have made them 600. That font weight, the font weight for the class of logo, pointing towards P, font weight 600 should be okay. I can see that it's too deep, even could I still the same. Now let's move forward to the next part of the website, which is the home page. So we are going to jump out of the header. This is the header, and this is its ending highlighted here. Yeah, it's okay. Just say dot landing. That's landing page. Hit enter. What do you want to put inside there? Of course, we want to put inside an H element. We want to put inside what again? P tags and then an anchor tag, okay, and also an image. But we want to separate them. The H element, the P element, and then the anchor tag should be in one div. Then the image should also be in this separate div. So inside that parent div, we want to have two divs. This is the first div. Let's call it left items. Okay. I didn't spell the items one. Left items. Let's jump out of it. The left items, that is for what? The ones at the left hand side, okay. Then want to what? Have another div again, separately for this image alone. Right item. Say dot right dash items. So okay. So now you have two divs inside this particular div here, okay. When you say dot landing, when you give this a flex display, what will happen? It will make this one to split and be in one line. To make this one be at the left, this one also be in right. That's the technique we are using here. So let's put inside this first, the left items div, okay. That one, we're going to put inside an H1, P, and then an A tag. That's what we're going to do. So let's open that one. Let's bring our H1. What are we going to type? Digital marketing services. We say digital marketing. What? Services. SER. Marketing services. Save that. Jump out of that. Whilst we are still inside that same div, we're going to have a P element. What is it saying? Oh, the only place you can have the best marketers and hire strategists for your online business. Control plus S, and whatever we are doing is appearing now. Alright, what about the anchor tag? That one too. We'll say, whilst we are still inside the left item div, we're going to add another anchor tag. Then we say that get in touch now. Now. It's okay. That also appeared. But after all of them, we want to also have the next div, which is this one, carrying the picture alone, okay. So we say img. Oh, come on, not this. img. Let's keep that. And where is it, the image source? Let's bring that picture that we remove the background. Where is it? Is it this? This one. Header picture. So we specify inside that particular image source. We say inside the images, want the header picture to what be placed there, and of course it will jeopardize and jump out, but we will style it nice looking. All right. Let us do something. This particular div here is the one keeping the two divs, the left items class div and the right items class div. Okay, the left items is keeping what? The left items class is keeping what? The header, p items, and what? The anchor tag. And the right items div is keeping the image. Okay, so that when we give a display of flex to what? The main parent div, it will keep those two div in what? In one line. That is our target. That is all. That is all. Nothing else. That is all. That is all. Okay, they are following. But there are questions. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. We have to do the header and something before we switch the page for today. Then we'll continue tomorrow. Now, let us come where it says class landing. Whenever you want to see the effect appearing, you just give it a background, okay, so that you see that a class of what? Landing. Give it a background color so that you see where all those things are happening, okay. This one, where it says aquamarine. The aquamarine has been applied, right? Now let's point that one. Then inside the class of landing, inside the class of what? Landing, we also want to point to the next class again. Inside the class of landing, we have what? Right items class. Let's call that one. We have another class again, right items class, then followed by what? An img. This is the img inside it. So we say that inside the class called the landing, which is the div, then we also want to point towards the div called right items, pointing to what? The images, the image. What do I want to do to that image? We say the width. The width should be something like, let's say, 50 pixels, and let's see what happens. That becomes small. Make it a little bigger to, let's say, 100 pixels. That's grown, but not enough. Someone will choose like 300 pixels and see. That's okay now. We can keep that. We want to now let this image come to the right hand side. But remember, left item this is the one keeping those at the left hand side. The right item is the one keeping the image. And they are all inside this landing. So inside landing, we'll give the command display, make it flex. Go and check. That's switch to the right hand side. That's nice. Now these items, how do you bring them? We want to arrange things very well such that they are all brought to the center. There is something I wanted to do before we start everything, but I did not do it later on. Yeah, we applied a padding here, another padding here. You equally do the same thing. Yeah, to this. Yeah, you have to equally do the same thing to this one to bring them to the center. Okay, so let's do that quickly. You've noticed that this class called header, we applied a certain padding to the left, 90 pixels, which is actually what you're also going to do to this particular class here. We can create a special class and keep everything like a container and apply a padding of, let's say, to that container, and that'll make everything to stay in the center. We can do that also. In that case, we have to do that. We have to cancel the padding left and right from the header. Okay, you have to cancel the padding left and right from the header. Save, and then they'll go back to however they were. So that they've gone back to how they are, right? Okay. Then you will have to take everything from header up to where you actually coded and reach. Control plus X to cast. Then you create a special container called this dot container. Say container. You create a div called container, and then you are going to paste everything that you did inside that particular container. That's what we are doing. So that we'll just take container and then that means the container is now going to hold everything that we are coding in the website. Okay, so we are just going to call just a container. So everything is inside container. Everything we are coding, I've dropped them inside container. Okay, this is the end of container. Let me give some space for us to write more code. So I just come. I can even go to the top wherever I want. I'll say dot container. I'll say dot container. I'll say width, a width of 80%. That means take 80% of the screen. Very good. Then margin 0 or 2. Margin of top and right, top and bottom 0, but the left and right I didn't specify. Do it automatically. Calculate it by yourself automatically. That is what I want. That's what I'm telling you to do. But you see, the only problem with it is that the only problem is that this particular landing page or the home page is spanning across and it is not being contained in a container. That's the problem. That is why we don't have to put this inside a container. Okay, so that container idea is not going to work here. We can leave the website like this and keep coding, but no. So what do? We will actually remove that container. Yeah, we'll keep this container standard. Okay, and then if you want something to jump and come to the center, we'll give that in a class of container so that we just happen to it. Okay, so we'll remove that container class. Okay, look at it. See the ending. Clear it first. Then go and clear the one at the top. Okay, so Control plus S. If you want this our top one to have that container class styling that we did here, which is this one, then let's give it then we'll put that class inside the element by ourselves. We say container. Control plus S, save, and then go and check and see. So that I've jumped and went to the middle. But this one we don't want it to jump and go to the middle. Yeah. So what are we gonna do? What we'll do is that let's go down inside this particular class called landing. Did we create a class called landing here? Yes. We can apply a padding. A padding left, padding dash left, or we can just say the padding of left and right. Padding of left and right should be, let's say, 5%. Okay, top and bottom should be 0. Okay, then the left and right should be 5%. That has, apply some innermost spacing, the internal spacing, but it's not enough. Increase the left and right padding to what? Let's say 15. So the first value is what? Is for top and bottom. The next value is for left and right. Okay, it has what happened nicely, but it has even come to bypass the first one here. That's not cool. Turn it back to, let's say, 13. 10 we do. That's okay. 10 has aligned. All right, but then the background too, we don't want it to be this kind of background. It should be this background that we are seeing here. So something like gray. So we're going to apply that. So there is something that is holding that particular background. That's the same landing. The background color, hover on top and move this downward small. Oh, come on. Let me take the picker. Take the color selector. Click on it. My mouse is glitchy. Okay. That's applied. Nice. I will start this and then well, okay. I think the background is okay. All right, so you see these items. When we applied the display of flex to what is keeping the whole of these items? Ask yourself that question. See this. Ask that question and see. It is landing. We applied the display of flex, but we didn't apply an align item center to bring them to the center in a vertical way. So why won't you do that? So just say align items, align items center to bring them to the center. See it, they've all come to the center. But make the h to grow. Okay, make the h to grow. So what are you going to say? We have to look at the h. You see that inside the class of what? Left items, point the h1. So the class of what? Dot left items. We're going to point the h1. And of course, increase the font dash size. The font size. Make it like 60 pixels and let's see. That's grown bigger. But then you have to break this. You have to break this. You have to break this. Alright. Or what you can do is that the class called left items, the left items, did we create it somewhere? The class called left items dot left dash items. See, what you can do is that you can give it a width. This class called left items, it is given the h1 and the p and the a. Give it a width. Tell it that you occupy a space of 50%. That is all. But we actually wanted to even do that and then keep the item, but this item will still be able to push it to go for its smoking. So we say width of 50% if you want. Say 50%. Now we occupy 50% of what? So that has automatically occupy up to about 50%. But the only disadvantage is that it has made this thing to come back small. So we can give this one margin left so that it can push it to the right hand side. Okay, the image, give it a margin left. But we created an image somewhere. This right item image is at somewhere. Okay, see it here. Landing right items image. Let's give it a margin left. Margin left. Margin left of what? What amount will you give it? Give it like 40 pixels and see. So that it the utmost space that we use to push. Okay, give it like 40 pixels is not enough. Then what about 150? That's also what? Apply very nicely. That's okay. And this will definitely stay there. Make the header grow a little bit small, just a little bit. So the font size, make it grow to at least 67. That's grown up. The p, but remember that there is some line height here and then there's some padding. Okay, there's a margin. Of course, when you right click it and you go to that inspecting, you see that this head is having some margin. See it over there, h1 color font margin, top and bottom, there is a margin. You can clear that margin. Yeah, you can clear that margin. So what I'm gonna do, you can also keep it. Looks nice though, but we can clear it also. So let's remove it here. So that particular h1, just say margin. All you do, margin 0. You can just see this. It will apply. Oh, come on. Good, the margin is gone. See it applied nicely. Alright. So the P, I will not make it also nice. Okay. At least give it some small font weight. And this is also nice. It's okay. The P, give them some small font weight. Okay. So let's point towards our P item. So inside the left items P, left items dot left dash items, small letters, dot left dash items P. What do we want to do? We want to increase the font size a little to, let's say, 25 pixels. Too big. It's too big. And then it's too big. What do we say? 20 pixels will do. That's fine. Now what about this one here? Style it a little bit. Make it look a little neat. So I will do this. So we're going to say left items point to the A. Okay. Dot left dash items give some space, point to the A item, and say background color. It should be that green color that we had somewhere that we were, I'm going to look for it. This color, yeah, green. Take it. Go and put it inside it. The background color has been applied. How about you adding some color to the text itself? Just say color. It's going to apply to a text. So just say white. Press the window and the tab. That's why. Alright. See that I sent to white, but then I want to apply some spacing inside it. What do we do? Say padding. Padding top and bottom. You can just use the 7 pixels. Left and right 15 pixels. That will be fine. See it now? Cool. How about you want to remove the underline feature? Say text decoration. It's called text decoration. Just say none to remove that. Not none, but none. And of course, it's gone. Keep the borders. So we say, even the padding, the top and bottom is not that much. Just make it bigger. 10. That's bigger. And then you want to give it a border radius. Border radius of 10 pixels might be looking cool. Alright. You can see very well that it is very curved. So definitely you should also curve it well to 15 pixels will do. Alright, 15 pixels will do. So we have our logo at the left, the name, we have the search, and you could even put a placeholder. Search an item inside that search bar. Where it says search, where is it? Over here. Inside the input, add another attribute, placeholder. Just that. Search an item, whatever, and it appears inside there. We start typing, it goes away. Alright, what are we doing next? Quickly do that and then we'll wrap up the page, then we'll continue tomorrow from wherever we left from. So we can even do this part here and this. Oh, this one we should have made it just easy. You see that you have styled this nice A item. Copy those styling, okay? Copy it. You can see clearly that this book, it is actually here. It is actually here. Where is it? Self book. Create a class for it. A class of, let's say, call it book yourself. Then come to the CSS. You say dot book, book, and paste that styling that you just copied from here. Save. Go and check and see. It has also been styled, but I need to give them align items center so that they can be styled, can be centered. So you have to look for that class that says nav item. Control plus F to search. Nav dash items. Nav item. Nav item UL. This is it. Align items. You have to align items center. Align items center to center them nicely. This one is now in line, in center. Also change, you also add a little bit of what the width, padding left and right to make it elongate small. Like this. So padding, is there a padding? Is there any padding? Just a padding. Padding. Oh, instead of saying the UL, come to the A item, okay? We are going to target that part. The styling that is, the styling that you gave to this, which is actually this, you can make it up to 20 to elongate it. Elongated, that's nice. Let's move forward. This one will not be anything much over here. Alright, just say this one, just write some text and then send them to the center. I can also use the same way, create a div, and then make a separate div for this one, separate div for this one, separate div for this one. Make a full div for all of them, then put this in a separate div, this in a separate div, this in a separate div. Cool, right? Let's do that immediately. We are almost going to do the second part here. Then we'll wrap up the page. Tomorrow we'll carry on with what is left, this part. Okay. All right, let's see. So say, what is it, magnetic or management services, syndrome services, something like that. I'll just put them there. I'll come and say div. Make sure you're inside the body, but you're out of what? This one is actually the div for the landing. We are done with the landing. We are done with the landing page. We're done with the landing page. All right, this is a landing page for them. This is our landing page. Okay, now let's move on. Let's move on. This thing is really distracting. So say dot. What I will say dot. Can say third container. Yeah, I can just call it third container, third cont. No problem. So third cont. So we create 3 divs. The first div, the next div, the next div again. So okay. This first div, what am I going to write inside there? What am I going to write inside there? This. Let's say management. So we just use a p tag. Okay, just use p. Just write management. Management. The next div, what am I going to write there? Services. Is it services, civil zones, services, souvenirs, scavengers, and these services. Oh my god. So our first B item, we have services, right? Let's even stretch this. Okay, let's clean this. Let's stretch it. Let's open it up so that I can put a P nicely. So it says services. The next PA item, let's call it souvenirs, or what do we okay, we can call it new arrivals, and another one again. I'll clean all this. Okay, we can call this one what can we even call it? Services, new arrivals. Oh, I just want it as one word, arrivals. I want this one to be support. Then last, the one that will be in the last div, this one here, it's a download softwares. It's a call to action. Then that will be in a separate div. SAP download software. Download software. Now we want all those things to stretch in one line, but if you go to our website, see them listed down. But I want them to be in inline. So give them the display attribute of what? Flex. That's all. Because they're all in separate divs. This having its own separate div, okay? This one also has its own separate div. Same way for this. This one just that we didn't make it to lie down. We didn't fold it. This having its div, having its div, okay? So let's pick this particular container that is this particular div that is keeping all of them, okay? So we'll come down here, say dot paste. Oh, come on, I didn't copy this third cont, copy, paste. Okay, is it not there? Is third count not a div name? Third count is not a div name. Wait. Alright, let's say count. Let's just call it count. Okay, let's just call it count dot count. It's okay. Dot count. And make sure you press Ctrl plus S to save here. They'll come inside here and I start writing. Just a display of flex, and that'll make them to straighten themselves. This is in a straight line, another one is also in a straight line. This is separate div, another separate div, another separate div. They'll all be in one straight line. Okay, so this is the first one. This one is what? The second one. This is the next one. They give them justify content, space between. Justify content, space between, so that you space yourself between, the space between themselves with equal spacing. See it? First one at the beginning, the next one at the center, the next one at the last part. But how do you let them to squeeze and come to this way so that they will leave that space left? Remember that we created a class called container, and we give that container some styling. So add that class inside here, container, small letters, container, save. It will apply that styling to it. See, they've jumped to the center. Okay, all right. And of course, this particular one, we need to give it a special class so that we can command them with display flex, so they can align themselves in line. Very, very necessary. So this div that is holding those p items, they will have their own class. How do you call them? Listed staffs. When you're a developer and then you use some names, you forget, you walk around and forget, and you want to fix some bugs, it's an issue. Of course, some serious matter. We are just pointing towards inside this div. It is keeping this 1, 2, 3 things. We want to give them, as we have allocated a class to them, we want to give them a display of flex so that to trace them in one line. They all become inline. Okay, see them here. So what are we doing? Let's go and say display of what? Flex. That's okay. See, they're all in one line. But if they're too close, because you have added flex display, you can do gap as well. Gap. It's a pack. Gap. A gap of 20 pixels. Semicolon. What am I doing here? See there. Nicely. And then we have to apply some padding top and bottom, okay, to move this one to go down from the top, okay. And that one we have to call the topmost, that container, that is this one, count. See it here. Just say padding. Top and bottom. Or just a padding top, okay. But I can just say padding top and bottom of what? 70 pixels. That's even too much. You can see that. Why not go down to somewhere like 50? It's okay. 50 is fine. I would love to style this and make them, rounded. Yeah, I would like to give them some rounded style, like how this one, I did it here. But this last one, there is a rounded style, and let's give some that border rounded around it, okay. Very important. So the last one, let's give it a class called download. So let's just call the name of that class in the CSS. Say download. And then what are we going to do? Give it a border. Say border. Then specify the border size. 2 pixels. It's even going to be a lot larger. 2 pixels. It should be a solid border, not dash. And then we want it to be a color of what? Green. Where is our website? See it here. But then let's put some padding left and right to push the spacing, like the line is touching the download software. So let's put some padding left and right, okay. Padding left and right as well as top and bottom. The padding of top and bottom. What about 8 pixels to do for us, right? Left and right, I want it to be elongated 20 pixels. A lot of padding inside. See it here. Even that padding top and bottom is a lot too. Why about 5? Still a lot. Just give it that rounded shape. Border radius, then we'll go. Border dash radius. Let's give it like, can even give it like 15 pixels so that it gets rounded very well. Get rounded very well. Add it 20. It's okay. But then the text, the p text itself has some margin. I can see, or can see that it's having some margin. That's why the thing is looking like that, like bulky top and bottom. You can remove or alter the margin. Yeah, there is a margin for it. You can remove that margin. Okay, so you point towards it. Since you created a class for it, just say call the class name dot download and then point to the p and say margin. Say 0 and C to remove the margin away from it. See it here. Margin has been removed. Yeah, margin has been removed. But then the padding has let me see. Okay, and this is because we gave a display of flex and we didn't give align item center to bring it to the center. Okay, you can see very well over here for the class of download. Where is it? The one that we gave is the cont. Yeah, all of them. Give align items of center to let the things be at the center of the alignment. See them. But then that padding is not enough. Add a little bit of padding. So where is the padding for the P? The download, this is it. The padding top and bottom, like we're saying 9 will do. And the 9 is not even enough. What about 12? It's okay, it's fine. Let's bring in our next div. We'll go to the next section, this part here. Oh, where is it? This part here. A div, and we'll give the div a background image of our choice. A div, and give the div a background image of our choice. Then we should put in an H element, then an A, and we are done. We'll wrap up the page for today and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, just create tomorrow when we meet. We'll create this first card, we'll duplicate it 2 times, then we'll change the profile, the name, change the profile, the name, leave the text, then we'll go to the next one. We'll just code this and we'll be done. I think tomorrow we can complete this. Very easy, very easy crowd. So let's create another special div. Alright, so we are done with this. Let's go create another special div and call it cont something, this is cont2, because the first one is cont, then it's cont2. Okay, let's continue 2. Alright, so that one we want to have an H here. Let's grow your brand together. Let's have an H inside that particular. Say let's is apostrophe S, grow your brand together. And then there is an A tag. What is inside there? You can never know. You can never see this thing. I think there is some exclamation B here. Alright, let's see. Contact now. Contact us. Alright, it's okay. So this class called cont through plus C to copy that class name. Let's come down. Let's paste. Alright, we're going to give it a background image. Then we say URL bracket open, bracket close. We say images, and what image are we picking? Is it this? A lot of these pictures, they are not spanning across. And they are not best fit. The reason is that I need to explain this very well. I need to explain when you are choosing images for your website. To be careful. Some images are just for portrait, mobile devices, but when they are put inside the computer to stretch the portrait are more than their limit for, let's say, their width. That will make them to grow and stretch and distort. So what you can do is that when you choose an image, let's say you want to choose something like this. Then you right click it. I want to show you something very open with Photoshop, and you have to do some small changes for it. You have to change the aspect ratio to 16:9. Yeah, landscape, just like what you are seeing right now. Have the image this size. Yeah, have the image that size. But if it is portrait, it is only going to be fine for mobile devices. And moreover, I can say that this one is what? A completely landscape picture. And you can't work with that. So you can even come, if that is a case, you can search in Pinterest. Say if we get we'll not more use the Photoshop, okay? We'll not more use the Photoshop if we get a better. So we say lady holding tablet official wear landscape picture. Landscape photo, and this is a landscape photo. This is a landscape photo. This will do. Yeah. When you choose a portrait, this cannot span from left to right of a computer. It will distort. This is fine. What I see, this is fine. That's okay. Landscape. Cool. Yes. Download image. That's all. So you can close since we've gotten it. You can close this, okay? You can close this window. We don't need that again. I was going to show you how to crop an image in Photoshop quickly to the way that you like it. Then you use it. Okay. Oh, you guys are following. My goodness, I thought you guys are sleeping now, but you guys are still awake. What a shock. So we will bring that image inside there, okay? Right, currently it is in a download. Also in the TGIF. Also, thank God it's Friday. Then we have to make it a landscape picture of lady .png. Okay, yes, accept that new change. Just copy it, and then we're gonna put it in our website folder. It's at the desktop. You see it here. Just paste it here. It's been pasted. All right. So now okay. So we have moved on to another div, which is the next one that is going to come, and it's having a class of cont2. Okay, we have already started giving a background image, so we have specified that there is a folder called images, and then we want to use a L pic of lady. Yeah, that's why. So inside the images, L, oh, inside the images, L pic of lady. There's it here. 3 plus S to save that. So that's given that particular div holding the things a background picture. That is what we are seeing right now. But it is not having a height and a width. Let's specify some height and a width. And also a height of, let's say, 400 pixels to do. Okay, 400 pixels, but then it is repeating. So what I'm going to say, background repeat, background. Before you say background repeat, just say width of what, 100%. Okay, do those things before forget them. That will not change anything. But then the image is not that large enough, so you see that background repeat, no repeat, background repeat, background repeat, no dash repeat. Yeah, no repeat. That's fine. It's a background position, background position dash position. Say cover. Oh, that should be center. Okay, and then background size. Background size. Let's say cover, to cover out the background. But then we want to apply that, spacing that we did for these ones. So what are we gonna say? Wait, the height of the image. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, the height. Let's specify it 100%. Okay, 100%. What happened here? That become 100% of the the div. Okay. We can increase that to, let's say, 600 pixels. Hey, 600 pixels. It's okay. But then let's add the special container class to make this thing to become that container property we created there. So say container plus S. And because we gave a width of 100%, we have to make it 80%. To also become like this one, because we created a container class with a width of 80%. If we now come here and now say 100%, it will override that one at the top. Okay, that's why we chose this. Then when you say border radius to give some curves, 30 pixels. Is the curve enough? You can even add more. So let's say 40 or maybe 50 pixels if you really want the curve. Yeah, the curve has really come. And this item, you really have to bring them to the center here. So that contour, say color of what? White will do. And also we also have to apply some linear gradient on top of the image. I hardly use it, so I easily forget it. Mostly the images I just create, I do apply a linear gradient on them. So yesterday I even forgot that property. So linear gradient, linear, then dash gradient. That one is for us to let's put a comma before I forget. To make the image to be covered with what? Some black color so that it can fade down. All right. So for the linear gradient, let's specify some two colors, some rough colors, so that black, okay, black, comma, another black again. All right, then we just click on it on the first, then change it to a RGB. All right, and the same way for the second one, RGB. So we are going to have add an A, that's an alpha. So the same way, comma, add an alpha value 0. Alpha is to check or is to control the amount of the black color. If you should save and go and check and see, so that the blackness have already started. The same way, you have to also what? We can equally just add an A here too, and then what? And then comma, and then add what? That value for the A. Okay. But then let's start specifying, let's say 0.5. Okay. The same way here, 0.5. 0.5. That's dipping down. It's okay. Let's now command distance to either come to the center, come to the left. So that class, add display of flex. Display of what? Flex. And then how do you let them come down? See, they are now in one row, so you have to add a flex direction. See down there, just a column, so that they will what? Get back in one line order. And you no more use align items to bring it down. You now use justify content. All right, say justify content center. It jumps down to the center. Of course, we have to let this, let's add a BR to break this thing down, brown together. So let's add a BR to break it down. Let's add a BR, tap, brown together. Then we'll add let's just add some padding inside. Okay, let's add some padding inside this picture. So we say padding. So inside this particular div, padding left will do. Okay, padding left will do. See it here, just select it, hit enter. And how much of padding left? 25 pixels will be okay. So the text move away inside, push the text inside. And if it's not okay, double that to let's say 70. And I'll make the h grow. So you mention the name of that class, cont2 h1. There's a dot cont2, and then we didn't point the h1. Then you now come down. Yes, what I want to do to that font size, make it grow. Font size, make it grow to what size? Of course, let's say to 40 pixels. It's still small. Cont2, what about 90 pixels? That is a lot. It's not bad. And this has to also grow as well. I click on it and it has refreshed the page. All right. This text is not purely white. So remember, we have to add color to the H element. Color. And then when you select any color at all, let me see. It's okay. I hope I've not zoomed in. All right. So our website, we have our header, our nav bar. Then we have the landing page. After the landing page, then we have these petty things that are also there. Then we have let's grow your brand together. Then we have contact us. Let's start the contact us and then we'll close for today. Then we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Honestly, can't believe it. I've kept you here for this long. Oh, let's move on. Let's start this one. How to style a button. So I will just call the cont2 again. Dot cont dash 2 keys and space, say A, and we are pointing towards the A item. Wherever there is a button that we start, this especially something like this, we can go and take those properties and then come and put them inside there. But we can do it ourselves. So just say, give it a background first. Background dash color. What are you gonna say? This is a good what and what. Then you go and check and see whether it has applied. Nothing, no. Nothing has happened. Cont dash 2. I've put S. Control S. Go and check and see. It has come. See, it's an inline element. Change the display to block. Yeah, it's an inline element. Say display block. It's still spanning across. That's amazing. In that case, you have to specify a width for it. Okay, a width of, let's say, 150 pixels will do. So width is width of 150 pixels will be okay. Now it has now got a width. How about some padding? padding top and bottom 10 pixels, left and right 25 pixels, because we want to elongate the width left and right bar. This is not at the center, so we say text, we say align text. Sure, align text. Oh, text align center. And just for center align for every element, will center will send it to the center of whatever is keeping it or is containing it. Text decoration will remove that just say now we'll remove the underlining from it. See, the line is gone. Change the color to black. Color, say black. Okay, you see the color. How about the border radius? BORDR, say radius. Border radius, what am I gonna say? Border radius were 15 pixels, because I really want this thing to curve pan. That's okay. And then there is still so much space. Looking at things, so much space. Don't want that. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna check what is causing that so much space. Is it this thing, this each element that is having some margin or what? Yes, there is a margin in the H element. If you remove it or decrease it, things can also look fine. So this H here, the cont2 has an H here, which is the class that we created and pointed it. Just say margin. Say 0. The margin will be removed. It got too close. So just say 5. Okay. Well, let's do 2. Okay. Oh, come on. 1. Man. 0. Still there. 0. But then I'd wanted this to really, go down small. So what I'm gonna do? This A item, just add a margin top. Margin top. Margin top is the space that will push the thing up, like from the top. Just say 5 pixels. Okay. So you don't add too much. Now see itself pushing itself down. How about 10? See it's pushing itself down. Click to automatically refreshing. So people, we've done it. But we're not done. Tomorrow we'll continue. When we're done with this, please, I'm gonna let you also do the same thing, create the same thing, code the same thing. Whatever you code, just put it in the WhatsApp platform. Okay. I want you to put it in the WhatsApp platform so that we see. This is the website being coded. Tomorrow we'll continue and finish it up. We'll just start now. We'll start the coding and it will be done. Then we'll take another website again. We'll keep coding websites, different, until you gain the strong foundation. And I'm telling you, you become a front-end developer very soon without any glitch. So, thank you for joining today's class. We'll meet again tomorrow. Bye bye.